All right, so we're ready for another episode of Batman the Animated Series. I know I am. I've got HBO Max opened up, and they've got Barbie at the top of their screen. So they're finally showing Barbie. Remember on the previous episode, I was talking about how they said, like, watch the trailer for Barbie. It's like, well, just put up the movie. But oh well, they got the movie up now. And a South Park collection. But we're not here for any of that. We're not here for any of that. Oh, they apparently have a Barbie with American Sign Language. Interesting. Okay. We're here for Batman the Animated Series, and today's episode is going to be Paging the Crime Doctor. So this will be the episode that, after this episode, we're going to take a break, and we're going to watch, I'm planning on doing this Monday, going to watch Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Going to be a lot of fun. So make sure, if you don't want to miss that, hit the like and subscribe and the little bell down there. And should be a lot of fun. Okay. But this was the last episode that was aired before they went on their hiatus for a while. And they would come back with the Worry Men. And I think there's a few more episodes actually, but they're counted in the next season that are they're supposed to be, part of this run. But I think they're in season 2. We'll figure all that out when we get to it. Paging the Crime Doctor, and that is one creepy title card. Story by Mike W. Barr. He wrote the comic book that this episode is loosely based on. So he was a Batman writer throughout most of the latter half of the 80s. He did some stuff pre-Crisis. The main thing he did pre-Crisis was he did Batman the Outsiders. And he was the writer for an all-true brief run on Detective Comics with the fantastic artist Alan Davis, and the inker was Paul Neary on those issues. Great stuff. That run did not last long enough, but I guess it wasn't gritty enough for the readers in the post Frank Miller world, unfortunately. But I loved it. I thought it was great. It was kind of an '80s style version of like Golden Age Batman. It was very much influenced by that sort of Dick Sprang era of Batman. So right off the bat, we've got this car chase with armored car, and they take them out with those smoke grenades. Oh, and look, they're wearing masks. That's it. Like surgical masks. So, like, they were already prepared for COVID back then. We're out of here. And I know what it's like to have to wear one of those over a beard, too. And did I call her? What? Maybe 2 guys, no kind for moms. It was like no sweat, right? Huh? But here's Batman. Let me turn down the volume a little bit. We don't want to get in trouble with the copyright gods, do we? Since I already had one of my videos blocked, sadly. I'll just have to reshoot that one later. Birds of a feather. So if you didn't catch it already, it's not up anymore. I need to figure out how to just do it with headphones, and it won't be a problem at all, will it? Kind of hard to drive with a bat cape over your windshield, isn't it? But you can see how, like, they've got, like, a medical theme going on. They're driving an ambulance, and He was wearing a surgical mask. It's not quite to the extent of something you might see on like the 1960s Batman show, but a medical laser. He grazed Batman's head, so he's a little dazed. And Beardy has just given it to him. Batman could. He got away on a trolley. I guess he's a little too dazed to try to go back after him. Now we just saw Rupert Thorne busted in Shadow of the Bat, and here he is back on the streets. There's definitely some bitterness between these two. Sarcasm. So basically, the crime doctor became the crime doctor because he was trying to cover up for his brother, Rupert Thorne, and that got him in trouble, and he lost his license. And now Rupert's passed out, apparently having a heart attack. Thomas Wayne Memorial Free Clinic. And there is Leslie Tompkins. Leslie's one of those characters that, like, the more she's been around, kind of like the bigger that her role gets to be. Like, in the first story where she appears, she's just like this kindly lady who found Bruce Wayne after his parents had been shot and looked after him until the police showed up. And that was it. And Batman sees her once a year or so when he goes to Cry Valley to pay homage to his parents. And that's pretty much it. And then, like the further you go along, it's like, well, she was, kind of took an eye after Bruce, and kept an eye on him all these years, and almost became like a surrogate mother to him. And then you get this whole backstory that we have now that we're seeing here on the animated series, where Bruce is like Bruce's father was good friends with her in middle school, and also with Dr. Thorne here. Meanwhile, Thorne, it turns out, has a tumor on his heart. If there's one guy that would get cancer in his heart, it's Rupert Thorne. More like he's got, a little bit of heart in his cancer. I don't mean to diss anybody who's got heart cancer. That would kind of suck. But if anybody deserved to have something like that, it's Rupert Thorne. Now you're dragging Leslie into this. Instrumental music. So apparently, internally, they called this episode the Geezer episode because it does have a lot of old folks in it as central characters. Dramatic music. Yeah. Benny Goodman. Matt Thorne. Without a license. Uh, Leslie has always been a character that's had like more more of a moral code than anything else. And she always stands on principles. There was like this really horrible story in the comics where like Stephanie Brown was critically injured and she let her die just to prove a point to Bruce. And I was just so offended by that because it was just such a violation of her character. Leslie got them all patched up. Sassy Alfred is the best Alfred. I guess Batman had the cowl on that dummy because he was studying the effects that the laser had on it and not, repairing it because sometimes they have them like you show them like patching up a uniform or something and I'm like, dude, you got spares. Just take one of those. I'm going to work on some action figures a little bit while I watch this episode. And I thought that was my tan. It's actually purple. And then he sees the picture of his father. It's your father, Dr. Tompkins. It was just hanging there in her office. And then he looks through here. The Three Musketeers. Yeah. You're a detective. You're not allowed to believe in coincidence. But she wants nothing else to do with him. No. They're not going to take care of her. They're going to take care of her. You just got Leslie into a lot more trouble than you previously thought. Eh, this guy thought he was going to get the drop on Batman. That's adorable. But I guess Batman's not still not at 100%. Yeah, this guy's so smug looking. I just really want Batman to kick his ass. Batman just looked terrified there. Come on, man, you're not Robert Pattinson. Threw a box at him. Come on, Batman, you're embarrassing me. And he's got the medical laser. Some friend you are. Fine, I'll kill her myself. Gah. He wanted a lead injection. That is a very Super Friends sounding laser. Finally, Batman gets the upper hand with this guy. You should not be having this hard of a time. I don't care if you're concussed. This is just some, like, intern in a black market medical facility. You know what would have been a neat crossover is if the crime doctor was the same guy as the surgeon in Batman 1989. You see that they have the work fit here. But of course, you know, Rupert Thorne isn't German, so I guess it wouldn't make much sense for his brother to be German either, would it? Well, thankfully he didn't kill Leslie like he was faking. He actually turned the tables on that guy. How the turntables. So he's got some decency left in him after all. And you know, despite all the joking about the geezer episode and everything, I think it's cool to see an episode where Leslie gets a little bit more of a role to play. This guy's hair is colored weird. Like they colored it all this dark gray, but then it's got like this red highlight in it. So I don't know what the heck's going on with that guy's hair. I'm guessing it must have been some kind of mix up with the models, and maybe it was supposed to be like black hair with a red highlight to it to look like dark red hair. But yeah, see there, it looks black. And his own henchmen are turned on him, probably because they really work for Rupert instead of Matt. But these designs are just kind of odd. Like this guy's hair is weird, and like the other guy looks like he should be working at a wharf or something. You know, beardy with the pea coat and the go to hell hat. I mean, we see the gangsters with the go to hell hat, but with the pea coat and the beard and the turtleneck, he looks like his name should be like Captain McGarnacle or something. He looks like the guy that runs the seafood restaurant on The Simpsons. Uh-oh. Matt's gonna make a jump for it. God damn, that's just overkill. Going after her with a Tommy gun? Well, thankfully, Crime Doctor got a hold of her, and Batman was able to snag Captain McGarnacle. He only tied up one of his hands. Thankfully, Batman was able to catch Leslie. That was a nice dissolve. And here's Bruce Wayne in his classic Dwight Schrute ensemble. Hmm. He sure is gotten jaded. That's his old friend's son. That's actually a nice little heartwarming moment there. And maybe Matt will have a happy ending after all. Maybe after all this, Bruce can help him get things straightened out with his medical license and he can go back to being an actual doctor. Who knows? All right, so Kevin Conroy's Batman, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. as Alfred, Roger Bumpus as Hoffman, Joseph Campanella as Matthew Thorne. That's a name that's familiar, isn't it? Linda Dangsil as Woman, George Dzunza as Chubb, Gary Kroger as Beecham, Diana Muldar as Leslie Tompkins, and John Vernon as Rupert Thorne. So that's it for Paging the Crime Doctor, and that's it for Batman the Animated Series for now. But make sure you come back whenever I do. Hopefully, I'll do it this Monday. Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, and we're gonna really enjoy that because that's one of the greatest Batman things ever. So I hope you're here for it. And if you want to make sure you don't miss it, please like and subscribe. All the fun YouTube stuff down below, and we will talk to you next time. Bye. Now, what the heck's going on with you now? There we go.